Stephen, when you construct a narrative like this, how is it done? Some writers use post-it notes, don't they, to keep their plot in order. You must require something a little more complicated, four-dimensional than that.
Well, no, actually, I just keep it in my head. That's a really boring answer, isn't it? It's not that complicated if you know how it ends.
Yeah, but
which I appreciate I am the only one who does. Well,
at what point did you know?
At what point from? Well, you haven't seen the ending yet. You still know nothing. What point did I know what?
What point did you know? When you sat down, for instance, to write the episodes that introduced River Song, what now seems like all those years ago, did you know what fate had in store for her?
No, at that point I was just thinking it was kind of a one-off character, and she could have been involved in some way or another, who knows, with the 58th Doctor. But Alex was so good, and it just seemed such a fun thing to do, to bring her back. By the time I was thinking of Amy Pond, I thought that was pretty bloody obvious, actually. I was thinking, yes, that one of the reveal could probably be that she was the daughter. I mean, obviously, I needed the other get-outs. Karen might have left. So, but from a fairly early point, yeah.
Because presumably you're always interested in the production of these jaw-dropping moments. But there's another side of you that has to kind of find the logical pattern into which all of these things fit.
Yeah.
There must be two of you. This is what I'm saying.
Well, no, I think it's a result of the logical pattern. I mean, the great thing about writing the River Song story is it looks much cleverer than it is in a way, because it's backwards. From her point of view, of course, it isn't. But you are telling that story. You are revealing it stage by stage backwards. So, like all magic tricks, it looks cleverer than it is. Oh, that's a good one for the critics, isn't it? Yeah, like that. Fantastic. Sadly, the same could not be said for Stephen Moffat.
And to what extent are you always in on the secret of this trick? Do you learn this story along with us?
Alex is in on the secret.
Yeah, we did not know for a long time who she was.
No.
Not until we got to the read-through of episode 7, and then we didn't even find out in the read-through. We found out in the corridor afterwards, because there was a dummy ending on it. So yeah, we didn't know.
So even you are victims of this, of this process.
Yeah, and we're constantly speculating and coming up with things that weren't as good as what Stephen had written.
What were your theories then?
Oh, no, it was just like I mean.
What was mine? I had quite a good one, I thought.
Really,
I can't remember what it was though. It wasn't right. Anyway.
That anecdote isn't working.
No, that was terrible.
The story's going nowhere. But the first time I spoke to Alex after we found out, she just said, "Hello, Dad." Oh, she's lovely.
So you're in it with us then. You experience it almost in parallel with the audience.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah, it's nice, but it must be terribly. I mean, is it not terribly kind of confusing as an acting experience? How do you sort of keep pegs on it all?
We only know the information that you need to know. It's like you're
you're
very good at not telling us.
And that's it.
Yeah. I didn't tell Matt either, so only Alex knew. But then within the story, only Alex knows.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's just an awful lot more fun, especially as Alex took it so seriously that every time she walked up to me on set, she'd always be mic'd up. She'd clutch her hand to her bosom like that, as if she was just a little bit excited about talking to me, to cover her radio mic. And I'd stand there watching the three of them standing on the TARDIS set going, "We're the leads."
So what does this say about the power of the writer, the power
corruption,
of
I would say. Corruption and ego-driven nonsense.
What sort of feeling does it give you to know that all of these people are absolutely in the dark and you're the one?
Okay, but there is a kind of serious side to it. Honest, is that it's very. If you give away all the surprise, if you tell people what's coming up in a script, their ability to respond to that script is absolutely diminished. They should experience, particularly for the director, particularly for the actors, they should read the script as the audience. They only have one shot of doing it, to read the script as the audience will experience it, so they can reproduce that feeling. If you tell them everything in advance, then you rob that from them.
Well, there's nothing more exciting than turning up to work and seeing new scripts.
I mean,
yeah, that is the peak of Arthur's
Day. But I mean, you describe this as a form of trickery, and there is a sort of narrative acrobatics to this that it feels like something quite new in television. I mean, you don't really get this sort of plot structure elsewhere, do you?
Well, you get it in movies sometimes, in
But not in
Section.
that kind of. But yes, well, it's quite rare though, isn't it? This sort of the speed and the density and the
And
agility of it.
And keep up, for God's sake. Yes, good. I mean, I think assuming an intelligent audience is a good idea, and clearly, gone by our ratings, it's a successful idea. I can't see the flaw in the plan. I can't see what's wrong about assuming intelligence as part of the audience, and what's bad news about being rewarded for assuming that. They are clever. They will get it. My 9-year-old got all of this ages ago at the end of Day of the Moon. Because for a kid, it's so obvious. Because they're just thinking, well, mysterious woman, mysterious girl, mysterious pregnancy. Duh. And they wander off.
And yet, underneath all this, I guess, is in a way quite a simple. I use the word advisedly in a way. A chamber drama of some sort, isn't it? This is a story about people running in and out of rooms, discovering things. I mean, is that how it feels to play? I mean, is it almost like? Is there something of the farce about it almost?
Something of the farce about it. It feels. I mean, it's about people. Do you know what I mean? And it's about relationships and about.
And we try to keep it like that, even if you are just running through corridors, because I think it's always more interesting to watch if there's something going on between the people.
And what kind of things are going on between these people? Because, obviously, in this last season, Doctor Who has touched upon areas that it might not necessarily quite have touched upon in the past. To construct a plot around a paternity question is something that the series has never quite dared to do before. I know that my daughter has been pretending to be pregnant for the last 6 months. She's 7 years old.
Pretending. Oh, Matthew.
that would be a plot twist too far.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
Well, yes, but but what's the point in telling a story where you just tell the same stories again? I mean, it was. I suppose the paternity question was, again, dead obvious to children. Of course it's Rory's. But it's only adults in their weird and paranoid way who ever thought the Doctor would even have been able to find how to do that.
Karen, would you agree with that analysis?
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely. The interesting thing is that kids don't overthink it, whereas adults, we tend to.
We'll try and read things into.
Yeah, look too much into it.
Yeah.
What do you make of the way that all of these plots are kind of interpreted and analysed?
Well, it's nice, but we're not that aware of it. Unless you go online, which I don't do anymore, you don't really know. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of analysis and general anger. Mostly towards me, yes. So I've ducked it. I used to go online when Russell was running it and see what they said about him. So I thought, when it's my turn, I'm just not going on.
And you've stuck to that.
Oh, I'm clean and sober for two and a half years. Not actually clean and sober. No, I've never used the word sober about myself in my life before. No one ever has.
And what about Hitler? Let's talk about Hitler.
Let's talk about Hitler.
Okay. I would imagine that quite a lot of kids watching this may not quite know who this man was. You don't think that? I mean, as you were writing it, did you kind of consider that question, that after this programme, quite a lot of children might have been asking of their parents, who was Hitler?
I'm not sure, because my two boys absolutely knew who he was. I think it's quite an iconic name, to be honest, in a sort of very, very evil and ghastly way. So I don't think so, but it'd be interesting. They might. I don't know. Certainly my kids knew it. I think my younger son said, "Won't Hitler be offended?" I said, I was prepared to brazen it out. I talked to his lawyers and all.
There are precedents, aren't there, for him being treated in almost a comic way?
Yes, in Indiana Jones, there's a brilliant gag where Indiana Jones accidentally gets Hitler's autograph. I think if you really want to piss off Hitler, now that he's dead, and it's a bit safer, if you want to piss off Hitler, don't make him into an icon of evil. Take the mickey out of him. Make him a joke. Have him punched by Rory and told, "Shut up, Hitler." Can you imagine how cross Adolf would be if he saw that? He'd be absolutely livid.
Well, strangely, what it's like is a wartime depictions of him when he was a comic strip character.
Absolutely.
And you hit him, Arthur.
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, it was one of those moments when you open a script and just go, "Thank you." Yeah. That was a good day at work.
You really enjoyed that as well. I remember.
Carried away. Tried to play it cool, but
But you seem to be, your heroism is becoming is developing, isn't it? It's becoming much more.
Rory's an action hero. That's
Yeah.
why I was employed.
Yeah.
Oh, that laugh and I keep going.
I'm sorry.
Arthur, that's the longest laugh of the day.
No scepticism at all in this room about that. I'm absolutely persuaded. So we're kind of still reeling a bit from this story, but where are we going to travel in the next few weeks?
Oh, you raised an eyebrow when you said that.
Sorry, and it's
Wow.
not the right side either, is it?
Where are we going to go?
Well, without giving too much away.
Yeah, without giving too much away, episode 10 is quite an interesting one. And Amy and Rory's relationship is explored in great depth.
Yeah.
And where else are we going? Episode 11, we have a scary thing called the Minotaur.
That's set in a creepy hotel.
Yeah.
That's good as well.
Kind of like The Shining or something.
David Walliams looking like a mole.
Yeah, a really submissive mole.
Yeah.
Something
There's
weird
an
about
image.
that.
I've never met a dominating mole.
No, I haven't actually.
And we've skipped past Tower Block.
Oh,
yeah,
in Mark
Mark's
Gibbs'
one. That's
episode.
brilliant as well.
which is
Danny Mays
really
is in that,
creepy.
He's
Yeah.
brilliant. That's a real. I was about to give something away, but
Yeah. And without giving anything away, where do these characters go? What happens to Rory?
well, obviously they're affected very much by what's just happened. I think their relationships are becoming more and more entwined, and that has its plus points and.
They're all basically going to Lake Silencio. I mean, we are going back to the beach. We're going back to the impossible. That's where the Doctor's going. He's going to know that he has to turn out there and die.
I saw a Dalek in that clip.
You may have
At
thought you
the
saw a
end.
Dalek.
Yeah, I don't know whether did I hallucinate that.
fool.
Did I also hallucinate your statement that the Daleks would not be coming back to see us?
Yeah, I know. It's almost like I lie
I know,
sometimes.
isn't it?